Hello, I'm Tan the TamBoTC channel. Almost messed up my own intro. And this is Alien Isolation, the third part to a possible 5-part series. It probably will only do 5 parts. And I will talk about the 5 games that I felt like were, I might even do some dishonorable mentions. They're 5, as well as a little bit about other stuff on my channel and me personally. But yeah, let's get into this. I'm playing on Novice because, let me show you. Hold on, it's trying to pull up for me the video capture, so there we go. So I am very close to getting the last achievement, but guess which one it is? Yeah, that's right, it's the complete the game without dying. So the only way you can really do that is on Novice. I mean, I'm pretty sure somebody out there is crazy enough to do it on the hardest difficulty, or just awesome enough. But I think crazy because this game is pretty difficult. But I actually had a fun time with the harder difficulty of this game. I thought it was going to be more frustrated, but I actually ended up having more fun than anything. Um, so the 5 games that tick me off the most, I always think the mediocre games are right in the middle. Here comes Sigourney Weaver, one of my favorite actresses of all time. Um, and this is the game that's used to show how we did have strong female protagonists back in the day. So this is always one that's come back to the Alien series. Love the Alien series so much, especially Alien 1 and 2, of course. Alien and Aliens. Alien 3 was a disaster, and I don't even know what the crud the next Alien was. Alien Resurrection. Alien vs. Predator wasn't too bad. I liked the first Alien vs. Predator, but the ones that come after that were just kind of ridiculous and dumb. I didn't really care for Prometheus, and Alien Covenant I actually hated, and I made a video on that a while ago. um, it's not a bad movie, once again, but it's one of those mediocre ones. But that's what I was talking about. Like the worst to me are like the mediocre, like in the middle, or maybe a 6 out of 10, or a 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10 kind of rated games are the ones that are the worst in my opinion. Of course, the real worst games are stuff like Ride to Hell and such, where they have their content is really bad. um, they have tons of glitches and errors. It's just awful. But yeah. Um, I felt like this game aged decently, definitely better than Evil Within. I'll get to that game in just a bit. um, but this was technically my second Let's Play. Almost got beaten out by another game. Um, yeah, I really wanted to do this game. This was the first new game I did for the channel, besides Metal Gear, and I really loved this game. I would have put it as my game of the year, right next to, I think, Dark Souls, maybe Dark Souls 2, I think, came out the same year? Not sure. I know Skull vs. Sin did. And then there was, of course, Dragon Age Inquisition. Those were great. But, yeah, I love the Sticky game. It's a really good horror game. It was real fun for the channel. It was the first one I got like my face cam to work for, but only for a while. And yeah, I just had a blast with this game. Got scared by it even. Wish I kind of had like something to track my head movement and such, even though I don't like the Kinect. But it sounds like an interesting idea. Even like VR or Oculus Rift sounds interesting too with this game. But yeah, this game's awesome. I don't know if I should do Resident Evil 7. I don't think there's really a point, but I will talk about Resident Evil 7. I did have various discussions on Resident Evil in the past, especially with something Markiplier brought up that was inaccurate about the lore, but it was something that everybody else thought was real to the lore, just because Markiplier said it. But it wasn't true because there's evidence of newspaper articles and such that kind of disprove it. I think it's something like Resident Evil 7's like a prequel to the Resident Evil series, and it's like, no, it's not. And by the way, Chris Redfield can look different in different versions of Resident Evils. Like, the art style is so different in Resident Evil 7 compared to Resident Evil 5 and so on. So I think it's more to do with the art style of the game rather than the characters themselves. And I think also it tried to be grounded more in not really reality, but I guess to make it feel more believable in a fictional world. It's weird to explain that kind of stuff, but I'm sure you know what I'm trying to say with that. But yeah, there were just things like that. I still love Markiplier's playthrough, and I think it's awesome. I think he's an awesome YouTuber. One of my favorites of all time. Let's close those. Um, and let's get in some real close. Oh my goodness, what the heck? Just spinning around. Spin me right round, baby. Let's get clothes. Nope, that's not mine, I don't think. I think mine is in here. Let's first get some supplies. Yeah, I really love this game. Hold on, I'll say once I got everything I need. So I am playing on easy, but that is only because I already played on the hardest difficulty. Let's take a shower real quick. My number 5 game I will get to, that is the most disappointing to me, is Thief. I hated the new Thief. I was not a fan. It was kind of the same problem I talked about with Beyond Good and Evil 2, even though I didn't say Beyond Good and Evil 2 was going to be bad or anything. Of course, I can't really say that. It's not out yet, but besides that, I actually think that Beyond Good and Evil 2 will do good. I just don't think the identity of Beyond Good and Evil 2 is Beyond Good and Evil. Matter of fact, I'm not the only one that said that. I think the God of War, original God of War creator said that too, where it wasn't the original Beyond Good and Evil. And of course, he talked about all the other live service and always online kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't care about the save. Is this my? Yes, it is. My clothes just. I saw the sleeve as I was opening that. There we go. They just appeared on me. Let's look at this real quick. Yeah. Thief was just the worst to me. It just seemed out of place with the swearing and the nudity and stuff, and it's like, that's not what Thief's about. I mean, Thief did have some paintings that might be suggestive, but nothing too over the top, and it's kind of hard to tell for the time that that game came out. Is that still going? Let me turn that off. There we go. But yeah, and Epic Gaming plays the original Thieves, of course. Epic Gaming I think I met Epic Gaming through my Resident Evil 7 playthrough. So I'll talk about that. Epi's a really cool guy. I want to do a dedication to Silent BH, but I'll say it here. Rest in peace, Silent BH channel. But Silent Death BH channel, I'm sorry, I pronounced the stinking name wrong. Or didn't say the whole thing. But yeah, I miss his channel. He was entirely dedicated to Uncharted, and I want to do a dedication sometime soon. I'll have to get Uncharted downloaded again. Hello. He's an android. Of course he woke up. He's been awake forever. But, yeah, it sucked that Silent Death BH disappeared. I used to talk to him and Epi. They're both really awesome. I still watch Epi's stuff. His is kind of shifted in a different direction from what I know, but that's good because at least he has like something that is kind of an identity that's different to an extent. So it definitely makes his channel stick out for those kind of things. So this opens that. I don't know what my identity for my channel would honestly be. Like, I'm an artist, and I do goofy, funny voices. Tons of different voices, so I'm trying to really push those, I guess, on the channel. But let me know what you guys think I should do. I wish I could do music for the channel, but there's just been like so much music on YouTube nowadays. So it's just kind of, I don't know if that would create an identity either for me. I love music so much, and I used to play the guitar. My uncle, though, gave me a piece of garbage guitar, so that was nice of him. No, it wasn't. He's a jerk, by the way. um, yeah, I never really had uh, a great kind of instrument to play with. It was always garbage. My mom also had a drum set, but she never liked anybody touching that. um, and I actually remember there was one time I went over a friend's house, and I used to learn to play the flute as well a lot. Do stuff like the Harry Potter theme through the flute or the Star Wars theme, I would know. But that was a long time ago. I probably don't know how to play anymore. Um, Maybe by muscle memory I might, but I really doubt it. Besides that, I did play the piano over a friend's house who actually teaches is a teacher who teaches people how to play piano and such. And she taught my sister, but she saw me play one day and she's like, "Wow, you're excellent at playing the piano." I can't remember what I played though on the piano. It was some older song, not Beethoven or anything like that, but yeah, I can't remember what I played for her. And I think I had another piano teacher that wanted me to play something for them, and I can't remember what I tried to play Rush, I think, on piano, a Rush song like Far Cry, I think, or something like that. Where the crud is Samuels? He'll be coming through that door any second, I bet. But yeah, unless he's stuck. Let's see. Samuels? Oh, I think we already... Oh, there he is. Wow, he is slow. Nope. Come on, Samuels. Oh, okay. Okay, there we go. That was weird. Um, so Thief was just... I didn't like the plot either, and did like each Thief game has like they also replaced the actors for the original characters, but each Thief game has like a scary level, and even the scary level was just very lackluster and lacked in variety and true fear and terror that the original games had. I love Deadly Shadows, probably my favorite of the Thief games, and the originals have such great AI, like it could match some of the AI we see in the Fear games. But yeah, I love those games. One of my favorite series, and the new Thief ruined that. I think my number 4 game would have to be Destiny. Destiny was just such a... I don't like grindy games, and games like Anthem and Mortal Kombat 11 don't help that at all. But when I don't like grindy games, even like Borderlands, I love Borderlands. Its sense of humor, I love its art style because it's supposed to be comic book art style. I had some friends who don't like it though. But I was like, seriously? It's supposed to be a comic book. Look like a comic book, you idiots. But I really liked Borderlands, but I still didn't like grindiness. Even like Diablo, I get sick of the grindiness after a while. But I at least can deal with those games, and I like the characters and even the plot to them, and I find them, at least Borderlands, funny in many cases, where I find Diablo interesting. But Destiny was just like, and I'll have to argue Gerard the Completionist on his point about like you could just pick up a phone and it would be easy to learn some of the grimoire there. What's the problem with that? Problem is it still takes you out of it, and is it even worth the grimoire. Is the grimoire even interesting once you finally read it? Was it worth it? You still have to like scroll through a page of grimoire, find the right one that you're looking for, read it. It still takes you out of the game, and then okay, somebody liked my screenshot, and of course he's got a Resident Evil 5 name. um, and you gotta read it, and then you look up and think, wow, that not only took me out of the game, but it wasn't worth reading. I still know crud. Diddly squat. So it still takes you out and it's still annoying. And the second game just did all the same mistakes that the first did with like paywalls and grindiness, expansions and all that, pre-orders, all that kind of crud that we've seen other like Ubisoft games do. But this was just stupid, and they should have learned their lesson from the first game. And we're seeing that developers are at fault to a big extent. Hopefully Bungie can make a better Destiny 3 or even a new game in general with whatever they're doing next. But if they can't and they somehow mess up, it'll probably show that the company was awful to start with, because they don't have Activision anymore. And it's only like even less than half of Bungie anymore, because the other half is working with 343, and then you got Marty O'Donnell was sued by them, and now he's no longer with them. And Joseph Staten was working on Recore at the time. He's with Microsoft now, so he's not with them either. So, yeah. I also want to talk about Epic a little bit. I know this is not the right kind of video for that, but I kind of want to roast Epic a little bit. Their stinking website is just diddly squat. And when I think of Epic, like, is there anything that Epic left behind that's truly memorable or iconic? Like, they have Bulletstorm, Unreal Tournament, Gears of War, but that's now owned by Microsoft slash Collation, and they're doing a great job. I do like Gears of War, and Gears 5 looks awesome, but I'm just so like, there's nothing that I feel like was iconic that was left behind by Epic. They just not very memorable. And Fortnite just isn't anything new or amazing either. Like, it's got an art style that stands out from PUBG, but there are already games like PUBG and DayZ and such that have already done, and even Minecraft, and of course the whole idea from Hunger Games, that those have already done, that Fortnite is just kind of copying. There's nothing really new about Fortnite. You look at Fortnite, and a matter of fact, even the name feels kind of like a Minecraft, like a game Notch would have made, or Mojang would have made at the time. You got fort, you build a fort, and night. I guess nighttime? I don't know. You got Fortnite. And it's kind of makes sense because in, I think, the paid version of the game, you do build your own fort. And at nighttime, I think you do get attacked and you fight waves of enemies. So I definitely feel like it is a kind of title for a game that Mojang or Notch would have made. But yeah, and their store is just inferior. It's not even better than Origin, in my opinion. And even with games like Hades, that I hear is good, I would say, first off, there are games similar to Hades that I'd rather play. Second off, I can wait on Hades. Even if it never comes to any other launch platform or console or anything, I can wait for Hades. I'm not going to risk buying on there. And I still think that Angry Joe is kind of a doofus for saying that he needs to absolutely buy. I get that just to test how the game runs on Epic Store. I guess I kind of get that, but if you don't want to support such a cruddy system, I wouldn't even bother at all. I would buy it on console, literally. Or I would wait. I have patience. I have the time. I don't know if you do. I mean, if you don't, then get some. But yeah, it's not worth it for a company. And I literally think that Epic nowadays is more evil than Konami even. They are worse than Konami. They've done so many stupid things. They like arguing with people on Twitter and such, which is just stupid. The people are a child and they're a bunch of idiots. Sorry to say that, but you're acting like big children and idiots. Your platform is bad. They're lying a bunch with like that whole Steam thing where if Steam lowers their percentage, they'll stop buying exclusives. But now they're literally buying from Steam and stealing games from Steam. Not necessarily stealing, but you get what I'm trying to say there. They're taking games off of Steam, so they give them more competition. I honestly don't care for Rocket League, and I play it on consoles anyways, so but I do feel bad for everybody on the PC Master Race. But yeah, it sucks. But there's still good games on Steam. Yes, there's a lot of bad ones too, but you got Pray to the Gods. You've got that what was that Frostpunk or something that my friend was interested in. There was another one that I really sounded really interesting that I want to get badly. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, there's still games on there, even new ones that are great. Yes, there's a lot of bad ones, but I don't think the bad outweighs what was already well established. And you have to think like Steam is what people are already well established with Steam. Yes, some people probably say, well, we want to see new things, but Epic is not the way to go until we actually have a competition, and a competition that actually implements and innovates the kind of things that Steam has, and then innovates on that and becomes better, then yes, that is worth investing in, and Steam would have to up their game. But I don't feel like Epic really is that, even though they kind of are for some reason. I don't know why people are going for Epic. It just doesn't make sense. Epic, it makes no sense. It's an inferior platform altogether. So I'd say if you don't want to support it, and I think the people are in more of the right to review bomb, because it's the only way they really can speak. Like, there's not many ways they can speak anymore. So, and just the fact that people are trying to take that away from them is just disgusting in of itself. It's really dumb. But yeah, I think they're more in the right, and that is the only way they can really speak. I mean, there are probably other ways, but uh, that seems to work, and it seems to get people's attention, so I think that's kind of why they went with it, because it worked. But yeah, there's just so many dumb things that have been going on. Epic's just really dumb, but they have no iconic like games or that are memorable. Of course, Unreal Tournament, they do have the Unreal Engine, which obviously we know where that name came from. But yeah, like what the heck? It's just like where there's nothing memorable about them. Like you could say the Gears of War characters are iconic, but besides that, there's nothing else that's really memorable from Epic. Even Fortnite, I don't feel like is that memorable in my opinion. Um, but when it comes to it, Fortnite would technically be the only thing they have. Even Bulletstorm is kind of forgettable. Uh, and I don't even think they own those games anymore, do they? But sorry that I'm saying but, and I'm turning in Jeff Goldblum all of a sudden. Where was that code? With Epic Games, they just don't have anything iconic. Literally every character, even side characters and enemies in Valve games, are the most memorable characters of all time. Even the silent protagonists like Gordon Freeman and such, super memorable. 0340. Okay, I think I remember it now. Yeah, these are just like the most. There's so many characters that are memorable. I was going to forget stinking GLaDOS, Gordon Freeman, Wheatley, all those characters. Even Team Fortress with all its characters. Yes, they have the generic spy name, heavy name, and that, but they're memorable also for their characters, especially in the cutscenes and such. And they also influence tons of games nowadays. They're a massive influence for gaming. And apparently, game companies like Epic forget that kind of stuff. And yes, Epic Games have influenced games, but when you look at the games on their own, not only have they eventually gone downhill, where I don't think Valve's games have ever gone downhill now that I think about it. Team Fortress 2 isn't bad. Portal 1 and 2 are excellent. the Half-Life games are awesome. As a matter of fact, just the saying of Half-Life 3 and wanting this the sequel forever from now is like one of the biggest deals ever to people. Of course, it's stopped lately, and we know that it's probably never going to come other than that fan-made thing that I hear about. Um, yeah, it was such a big deal. There's nothing like that from Epic. Epic doesn't really have anything to remember them by. So if their Epic Game Store goes out, they're going to have to rely on something. And yes, they're crazy rich. But literally, Steam could make one little move, and I think Epic knows this, and they could literally take hold and take over Epic. Not necessarily take over their store in that sense. I mean, take over as in be better than Epic, just by doing one or two little things here and there. If they actually made a move, or if they took action, they could actually be ahead, easily ahead of Epic, no matter what. And Epic's barely implementing stuff. They didn't even have a search bar for the longest time. I'm sorry that I talked more about this stuff rather than my channel and the whole reason I made these videos, but I always want to talk about those. I thought it would be interesting. Yeah, I'm sorry that it kind of like went all over the place, but let's get into... Yeah, I think I said enough on Destiny, but my next game would be Mass Effect Andromeda, my disappointing games of all time. I'm a big Mass Effect fan, like, huge Mass Effect fan, and I should do a top, like, 30 list, because there's just so many games I don't want to leave off my list that I love. But yeah, Mass Effect is right up there with the top 5 best, and it's awesome. But, yeah, I was so disappointed in Andromeda, even though it does play like it's a similar gameplay of that Anthem has. It's not an awful game. I definitely, and some of my friends even think that I thought it was better because I actually remember quoting to one of my friends that I didn't think it was that bad a game, and my friends kind of looked at me like, what? I rated the game a 6. Keep this in mind. I rated the game a 6 out of 10 when I gave it a second chance. Angry Joe rated it a 7 out of 10. So who do you think is crazy now? No, and the major problem with Mass Effect Andromeda was there was no sense of danger. None of your teammates were in danger. Nothing was going to happen to them, where you have like the suicide mission. There's a possibility of losing Rex, Ashley, and Caden throughout the first game, even the council. And then the third game just like took the influence of both the first and the second game and had a crazy ending and in between parts throughout the story where characters could possibly die off. So there were still some really big moments in 3 even. Mass Effect Andromeda had none of that. There was like a crashing ship of like nobody's, basically red shirts of the game. And that was it. This is just like really dumb. You could even go without doing the loyalty missions. They even had a really weak villain. There was a villain in between that wore like red and black and was like second in command, I think. And looked like obvious evil villain material, but was cooler looking than the main villain of the game. I can't remember the name of the main villain though. But the main villain of the game was just so forgettable, but that villain was actually interesting because you can make that villain can actually join you and you can benefit one another, help out one another, and that was pretty cool. And the plot twist probably would have worked if it wasn't so weak and the game didn't suck. Yeah, the plot twist was just that the stinking those jerks, I forget what they're called, where Jaw's race just transformed. Here comes jump scare. Whoa, running man. I think that's the bald Scottish man that we meet later. I can't remember his name. He'll tell us. Or I'll remember it in the middle of everything. But yeah, I think that's think that's all I have to say about Mass Effect Andromeda. I liked parts of it, and I did like characters like Vetra. I love Vetra. Vetra's awesome. PB, the kind of substitute for Rex and Grunt. The stinking Krogan wasn't bad, and Jaal wasn't bad, but that was it. Like, there were really terrible lines. It was a very glitchy mess, and it had the repetitive nature of a Ubisoft game. Well, the collectathon of a Ubisoft game, so it was really sad to see. The gameplay was definitely an improvement. I thought it was the most fun of the Mass Effect games, but I can still have just as much fun, if not more, with Mass Effect 2 and 3. So, sorry. I'd rather play those. Let's see if my friend's on, actually. Nope, he's not. I mean, I have a bunch of friends on, but the one I'm looking for in particular isn't on. But yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda is one of the angriest games I've had. Evil Within is my second most disappointing game and second hated game. I've already given plenty of reasons why. I think the characters were really weak, the plot was weak, the villain was really pathetic in my opinion. The gameplay was very clunky. It was kind of purposed to be, but it was bad in certain areas, such as the that thing broke. It had tons of dang problems. None of the characters were memorable. Just everything about that game. And even though you could cough up all the references and stuff that the game's doing to just references and such, which is totally valid and fine, but I felt like the game had nothing original going for it, so it literally felt like every part of it was a rip-off of some other game or movie or cliche, so it really didn't stand out on its own. I also got like Evil Dead vibes just by thinking of the title of the game as well as the design of the character, but I don't think it's nearly as good enough to be Evil Dead. Evil Dead's awesome, but it's just such a joke of a game. The second game was so much better, and I'm so glad the second game was better, and I know Funko made a video on that, but while I do think he has an awful copy, and it's definitely valid that that game is a glitchy mess, but mine was fine. I had glitches, but nothing to the extent that he had. And I did enjoy what time I did have with the game. Let's see, we have to go somewhere. I can't remember where I'm supposed to go. I think it's in here. Yeah. Yep, I know. Amanda Ripley. But yeah, it's just I hated Evil Within so much. There's nothing memorable going for it. It had clunky, like, weird camera angles. I didn't feel like the upgrading system was actually upgrading you. I felt like there was a lot of time wasting in it, especially with going back to the safe area, and then spooky thing happens. I never found anything spooky in that game either. I did like the fourth mission with the invisible enemies, though, but that was about it. Even was surprised. I think Chase Face did a good job on both games, talking about both games, but I was surprised that Cat Icarus was scared by it, the mannequin part, because once you realize the mannequin, all that mannequin part is kind of a stealth level where you try and get past a bunch of just generic bad guys again, and the enemies are just really dumb. Their AI is bad, and they're really slow and easy to take out. So there's just nothing about the first Evil Within that was really that great. The Evil Within 2 actually kind of made me like the Evil Within 1 a little bit better, only because of how well it performed in its story and character development and such, and that was a big important part in my opinion, because that's kind of what I watch and play things for. I mean, sometimes you can play for the definitely fun is a factor, and the gameplay, there's always something valid, and I think Relax did a good video on like the nostalgia of games and just fun in general with them, even if they're bad. I think he did a good video on that. That's kind of what I would use in reference to what I'm saying here. But yeah, it's just Evil Within was just a mess, and I couldn't really have fun with it. Let's go see Scottish Man. Let's first save. Where is this save? I hear it beeping. Sorry we haven't run into the alien. And that this has been just me running around being boring. I hope the conversation is enough to keep you guys entertained or interested, at least to an extent. But yeah, it's just so many silly things that Evil Within. And finally, my last game, so I can end off this video, is The Order 1886. I hate that game so much. That game tortured me, and I literally felt violated by it. It was so bad. I remember live streaming it once for my mom and my grandmother, and we all did not like the game just by watching and playing it alone. It was just really bad. There's not much. There's no replay value. I actually got the platinum for it because I just want to be done with the game, and after playing through it a second time, it feels like torture playing it. It's so slow and mediocre. The character development is not bad, but it feels like it doesn't have any closure to it because of the stupid ending. And they even got the year wrong for the main plot part, and I'm going to spoil it anyways, but the main bad guy is Jack the Ripper, and he's the Lord dude in that. But Jack the Ripper was around during 1888, not 1886. So they're 2 years off, and what's wrong with just changing it like 2 years ahead just for your plot point to work? Just the fact that I complain about that, and you could probably sum it up to just being a nitpick, I still think it's dumb, especially since the game in entirety is dumb. And like the outfits and designs of certain things in the game are great. I like the outfits to like the main characters and such, but that's about it. It's kind of the same thing that guy who's obsessed with the Daleks designs, but he doesn't like Doctor Who. It's the same situation. But the Order 1886 is garbage with like nothing to it. It's got a recycle of the same bosses, it's got bad AI, and I hate the shotgun guys. It's just bad all over the place. I just hate it. Yeah, that's gotta be the worst game. I got the collector's edition of that game and pre-ordered it. You barely get to use your pre-order bonuses either. But yeah, the Order 1886 was just a mess. It was an absolute mess of a game. I think I should end this video now though. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments below, and when you do subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications. Lens flare, or is that Steven Spielberg? With the spotlights, kind of like what Nostalgia Critic was saying. Excuse me. Come on, Scottish man. We got to go. But, yeah, I'm glad I got to play this for the channel back in the day. I'm glad my grandmother was around. She actually walked in, I remember she walked in frame of my camera, my face cam. And I actually had to cut that part out, but I kind of wish I didn't. But yeah, I cut that part out of the video. And you can probably hear her talking in that video, but yeah, I had to cut out that part so you didn't see her walk by. I also got to meet Creepy the Clown back in the day. I'm sad that Mr. Mario TV isn't doing anything. Whoops, save game, you idiot. But yeah, I'm sad that he doesn't really do much anymore. I do watch Pink Stylist as well. I enjoy him. But yeah, that's basically it for this video. I'll talk more in the whatever next game I do for the channel. I probably know which one it's gonna be, but I think I talked enough about what I wanted to go over in this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed, even though we didn't get to see the alien. I probably should have started from a part where there was an actual alien. Crud. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time, and goodbye.